Hello there, this is Daniele from Toolchefs, and in this video we're going to have a look at the new Python plugin system. So basically what you can do now in Atoms Crowd 2 is you can take advantage of the new Python plugin system. The first thing that you need to do is you need to create a folder or more than one folder that will contain your Python plugins. A Python plugin in general is just a folder such as this one. This is actually the name of the plugin, with containing an init.py and also an AtomsInit.py. So you always need to have a file that have this name, the AtomsInit.py, because Atoms will look for this file and will load this file whenever it's found. In order also to tell Atoms to access these plugins, you need to specify this environment variable. So it's this one. And as you can see here, it's pointing to the folder I was just showing you. So now just to show you the content of the AtomsInit file, you see here we have these four functions. The load function is getting called by Atoms whenever Atom is initialized. The unload one whenever Atom is unloaded. Load scene is and unload scene is whenever Atoms loads or unloads a new scene. Sorry, just to avoid any confusion, the load one is not when Atoms is initialized, not when a scene is initialized. So it means that whenever you load Atoms, you're gonna be calling this function. In fact, as you can see here in the script editor, we have already an hello with 3 exclamation marks. So it means that this method was called. If I clear this scene, we should see a new message, scene unloaded. This means that the unload scene method was called. So inside these functions, you can do whatever you want to interact with Atoms. In going into more specifics, here we see that in the load function we have created a new variation filter. This is like a filter that is going to be applied whenever you load your variations. So as you can see here, we have a class with a filter method where the first argument is the variation object that is coming from the scene. So it's actually the Python object that represents the variations that you have loaded in your scene. The Atoms node is the Atoms node from the scene. Origin data is the original JSON string that was in my scene. Then basically in this method you can change the variations and then return them. If you have more than one variation filter, the first one that you have registered is gonna change the variations and return them, and then the second one is gonna keep modifying the variations that were modified by the first filter. So, and this is actually what you get from with the first argument. So if you would like to go to the original data, you can always get this string and then convert it to a variation object. So basically in here what we're doing is for the Atoms robot, we are getting the material with, we are basically looping through the materials, and if we find the robot one material, then we change if it's a diffuse file map. So it's gonna be, basically we just set it to nothing, and then we just set the diffuse color to full blue. So basically you'll see all the meshes that have this material being completely blue in the viewport. So basically let's create a very simple setup. So I've imported my variations and I've randomized them. And once I've imported them, the variation filter was run. So if now I click rewind and unselect my agent group, you'll see that all the meshes that were using the robot one material are now completely blue. So basically this is one of the ways you can use the Python plugin system for customizing your workflow. I hope you liked this video, and thanks for watching.